Greetings. I'd like to share with you a few thoughts that I have concerning some things in the news about South Africa. You may have heard that there are some white South Africans who are of Dutch, German, and French descent who are feeling as though they're being treated unfairly because some of their lands or some things may be done to redistribute the wealth so that Black South Africans can participate in a more equitable way in the economics there in that country. Well, those feelings are hollow, in my opinion, and they're founded on blatantly untrue foundations. We have to keep in mind that in 1652 is when the Dutch began to colonize the South African area and took the lands that Black Africans lived on, indigenous Black Africans lived on, just took the lands and began to take them for themselves, and eventually had the German and the French. Okay, but then you also had a period called apartheid, where there was murder, there was torture, there was arbitrary imprisonment of Black South Africans. And we all recall Nelson Mandela lived in a prison for 27 years unfairly. So at the end of apartheid, or near the end, there was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was formed in order to look at the atrocities and come up with some recommendations to sort of remedy what had happened or try to remedy. And truth be told, very few of those recommendations have been implemented to date. So the idea that white South Africans are feeling unfairly treated, it just rings hollow. And I was in South Africa in 2022, and I got to see firsthand how the Black Africans lived. And it was heartbreaking. They were in shanty towns. At the end of the day, if they were in the downtown area and they were selling wares, they had to gather them all up and take the buses and go back into the segregated areas that still exist today. If you were to compare the poverty that they are living in to some of the poverty that we have in this country, it would pale in comparison. Let's put a pin in that, and I'll come back to that, because there's another piece of news concerning South Africa that I want to bring in here, and that is, more recently, number 47 has said that he wants to invite white South Africans to come and to resettle here in the United States. Okay. So we have to ask ourselves the question, why? Why now? And so obviously there's the Elon Musk connection because he's a white South African. But I think it's more diabolical than that. So bear with me. If you were to bring white South Africans who have the DNA of colonizing Blacks into this country, and I know that there are some in this country that have that same DNA, and make no mistake about it. But if you bring more people with that ilk, there's the potential that they're going to feed that fear that we have in this country about white people becoming the minority. They will feed the fear of racism in this country, which is already at a level I've never seen in my lifetime. And they just may help Elon Musk in his mission to establish white supremacy as the ideology around the globe. And so it's very disconcerting that invitation has been made, because I think this administration may feel they have a mandate to decimate the Black middle class. And I'll talk about that in another segment. But I think it's something that we need to pay attention to, we need to look at, we need to be mindful of, we need to be praying about. So that's just a little note from Coach Robinson, as D.L. Hughley would say. Interested in your thoughts and your comments.